Nada más no te metas hacia donde no conozcas porque sí te chingan.
Se matan gratis.
See?
Sí.
We are in a place that a lot of people wouldn't come to, not even, not just tourists, but a lot of locals, a lot of people who live in Mexico City, in La Condesa, in La Reforma, in Roma, they wouldn't come down here. ¿Te vas a enterar por hijo?
Sí.
All right, so I came all the way to the edge of Mexico City. We're in a station called Constitución de 1917. 1917. We're at the edge of Mexico City, and here is where they have the new cable car, which I've never been on. Cable bus, see? And I met this nice guy here, Victor. On Victor, no, ¿verdad?
Sí.
On the subway, I met this guy. We're gonna hop in this one right here.
¿Cómo ves? ¿Se ve chido o no?
Sí, para mí es algo como diferente salir de la ciudad, ¿sabes? ¿Tú vives aquí?
Sí.
¿Dónde? ¿En Santa Marta?
Aquí en Quetzalcóatl.
Quetzalcóatl. ¿Qué tal? Genial.
¿Eh?
¿Qué tal?
Pues más o menos está medio, pero
Medio.
pues crítico la situación. No tenemos agua, varias cosas así.
I don't know where we're going right now, but this guy seems nice. We're gonna go with him. We're gonna go along with his plan. We're gonna see the neighborhood, get some legit, authentic Mexican food, something delicious, I hope. And let's start off the day here in Iztapalapa or Quetzalcóatl or wherever we are. I have no idea where we are. ¿Cómo se llama ese barrio?
Esto aquí se llama Desarrollo Urbano Quetzalcóatl.
So we made it to a neighborhood called Quetzalcóatl. I can't pronounce it, but it's one of the neighborhoods here on the outskirts of Mexico City, and you can see the cable bus runs right over the neighborhood.
Vamos al avión y nos regresamos al tren.
Okay. We are in a place that a lot of people wouldn't come to, not even, not just tourists, but a lot of locals, a lot of people who live in Mexico City, in La Condesa, in La Reforma, in Roma, they wouldn't come down here. I mean, to be fair, if you don't live or work here, why would you come down here? This is just pure curiosity of mine, and it seems like a nice vibe. So we're coming up on this airplane that Victor was telling me about, the Boeing 737-300. Wow, in the middle of this neighborhood, just a massive old airplane. I don't know what it's doing here. It looks like this should be a kids park, but instead they just put this badass airplane. ¿Qué está haciendo aquí ese avión?
Es como biblioteca, ¿ah? Es una biblioteca aquí, el avión.
Oh, really?
Adentro del avión.
Wow.
Sí podemos pasar. Gracias.
Okay, I didn't expect that. Apparently, this neighborhood doesn't just have an old plane in the middle of it. Inside the plane is a library. So maybe I'll be able to get myself a book, practice my Spanish reading comprehension. Wow, mountains. You got great views in this part of the city. Hola. Wow. This is so cool.
Están las chicas que tienen la biblioteca.
Es una biblioteca. Al final está la salita donde tenemos los libros en físico en la parte de arriba en los maleteros.
Y todo el avión es biblioteca.
Es una biblioteca como tal, en físico hasta el final, y tenemos el área de las computadoras.
¿Es para niños o para todos?
Para todas edades, vienen desde niños, primaria, secundaria, prepa, bachillerato.
Ok, genial.
Adelante.
Let's go. Holy shit. This is honestly the coolest thing. I would never guess that I'd come across a library inside an airplane. You can see, like, these are even the compartments where people would put their luggages. And you got all this classic Mexican literature, Enciclopedia de Mexico, talking about Colima, Guadalajara. Wow, this is awesome.
los niños como que se acercan más porque
Sí, hay
ven
más
el avión.
atracción.
Normalmente ya las bibliotecas no las visitan, ya no hay gente hay varias bibliotecas en esta zona y están muy solas.
They have the coffee station here. They got the cockpit. This is crazy. That's pretty sick. Like, it's a cool idea to put a massive plane in the middle of the neighborhood to get kids to want to go to the library. You know, otherwise, if it's just a library, people don't really want to go. And I think having things like that, you know, gets kids off to an earlier start, reading books, educating themselves. So I feel like there are really good ideas being implemented in this neighborhood. And I'm also really impressed with the way it looks. Obviously, you can tell it's a lower class neighborhood, but pathways like this in the middle of the street with the trees covering it, it kind of does remind me of La Condesa, right? So, good vibes so far here in this part of Mexico City. ¿Cómo pronuncio el nombre de ese lugar? Es difícil para mí decir.
Quetzalcóatl.
Quetzalcóatl.
Quetzalcóatl. Después de la C la TL.
Quetzalcóatl. Quetzalcóatl. Good vibes here in Quetzalcóatl. Yeah, rápido, rápido.
Mira el chicharroncito.
That's a crazy chicharrón.
Ahí está el patrón, mira.
Oh, wow. ¿Cuánto cuesta uno de esos?
Porque pese, este te pesa como 50 pesos, este como 40, 50 también. Este se hace 2 veces a la semana aquí, miércoles y sábado.
Tianguis is a concept here in Mexico City, or I think in Mexico in general, to describe the pop-up markets that exist in pretty much every neighborhood. Every neighborhood has different days where they do the tianguis, these pop-up markets, and you can come here. So here in this neighborhood, it's twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we're gonna go find something good to eat.
¿Para qué?
Ah, sí?
Sí.
Probar. We got a food stand here with a bunch of steak, tacos. I don't know, he gave me some meat to try, so I'm gonna try it out.
Cecina, se llama cecina.
Cecina. Oh boy. Es interesante que tiene la carne
Mira.
en el medio.
Ajos a 10, patrón, ajos a 10, se ve. Ajos a 10, señora.
Steak taco, cecina, in a blue corn tortilla with French fries on it. I've never had that before, honestly.
Con tortilla azulita.
Wow. Amazing.
Eres gringo, ¿ah?
Ah,
You're Mexican.
yeah.
Good.
Gracias.
Nice to meet you.
Norteño, norteño.
Norteño.
Una pregunta, ¿por qué pones toda la carne en el medio de la mesa?
Para que se vea y de ahí la voy agarrando.
¿No hace mal el calor?
No,
No.
no, se orea más y se agarra, hace más café.
Es que esa carne ya está arreglada, está salada.
Ajá. Worst case, we'll get food poisoning. But that was delicious. Gracias. Gracias. We're just tasting a little bit of everything here. Why not? We're just gonna give it a go. It's like a fried chili. Not my favorite. Get it?
No, te digo que acabo de comer yo. Ah, es que le mordiste por el lado de la colita.
I bit the wrong side. ¿Para eso mexicano? Sí. ¿Verdad?
Del norte,
¿Del norte?
Sinaloa, Sonora,
Sí.
Monterrey.
¿Verdad? ¿En serio?
Sí.
¿Yo puedo pasar mexicano? Okay. I'm norteño now. I'm from Sinaloa. I am a mexicano norteño. Don't tell anyone that I'm gringo. It's a secret. And now I'm going to try. ¿Cuál es el taco que ustedes están comiendo? Es tripa. Tripa.
Porque al mexicano le gusta todo con grasa y doradito, ¿eh?
Doradita, sí.
Por eso estamos barrigones. ¿Sabes qué dice? Que
Barriga llena,
barri-
corazón
chaparro y panzón, mexicano el cabrón.
poca. Ya.
Que no sabemos qué tan picoso pones. Nuestro plato fuerte es la salsa.
Oye, ese es muy rico.
Cubanos.
Aquí en México, en esa parte, en esa zona.
Venezolano.
Hay cubanos.
Mira. Ahí va.
Mira, ahí van unos.
de Haití.
Ajá, están trabajando aquí, fíjate.
Sí.
Se pusieron a trabajar aquí, mira, ahorita ya andan unas muchachas.
¿Y cómo es la relación entre ellos y la gente de aquí?
Pues cordial.
Pues cordial porque la verdad uno no se mete con ellos, no les hace uno daño.
Ellos no están con miedo.
Ellos sí como que nos tienen miedo a nosotros, ¿no?
¿Sí?
Pero nosotros no nos metemos con ellos.
Somos respetuosos.
Ajá, nosotros los respetamos.
Ajá.
Y ellos a nosotros. Y ellos están trabajando aquí y no se drogan. Yo no he visto a ninguno de ellos drogándose. Andan bien aquí.
¿Y tú vives en esa parte de la ciudad?
Yo vivo aquí a la vuelta.
Candy? ¿Cuál es eso? What's this? What's this? What's this?
Ustedes,
¿Qué es eso? Secuasa.
galletas.
Este y este.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Albenson,
Albenson.
Albenson.
¿Tú de dónde eres?
Haití.
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 Port-au-Prince.
Pueblo Príncipe.
Puerto Príncipe. Ok, ¿y cuánto tiempo llevas aquí en...?
8 meses.
8 meses en México.
8 meses.
¿Y qué tal el español? ¿Es difícil?
Español, más o menos. Más o menos.
Cool. Yo soy de Florida.
Okay, Florida.
Tenemos comunidad muy grande de Haití.
Ok.
Yeah, en Miami.
Ok, Miami.
Yeah, mucho de Haití.
Ok, mucho.
Sí. Quería regalarles estos dulces. Sí, para que comparten. Es tu regalo del gringo norteño de México. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Elisa.
Elisa. Elisa. Ok, mucho gusto. Adam.
¿Ya ven? Se me quería quedar.
I would say that what makes the difference of feeling comfortable here and feeling uncomfortable here is probably the language barrier. So if you're in Mexico City and you don't speak Spanish, you're definitely going to be more comfortable in places like Roma Norte and La Condesa, even in the center. But if you do speak Spanish, or if you're trying to learn, coming out here would be great. You meet a few people, you realize that it's not that bad. Contrary, it's actually a great experience. So I think that more of you should come to Iztapalapa, and yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Fueron los que llegaron el 10 de mayo y se le quedó a la colonia 10 de mayo.
¿En qué año fue fundido la colonia aquí?
Tiene como 45 años que se fundó esta colonia.
So my initial plan was to walk through this neighborhood alone, and I feel like I could have done it, but having Victor with me kind of makes me feel a little more secure. Now this neighborhood, you got a lot of colorful houses, people set up their shops, selling a bunch of stuff outside. That car must have 17 people in it. But this part of Mexico City has a reputation for being dangerous, right? There's a lot of movement here, there's a lot of people, but at the same time, there are robberies, right? A lot of petty crime, that's what people seem to be saying. I still think that if you come here and you communicate with people, especially if you speak Spanish, you'll feel pretty comfortable here. It doesn't feel dangerous, it doesn't feel that bad. There's a park here, kind of like a city park. People are chilling, benches, playground. This is really like any other part of the city.
Nada más no te metas hacia donde no conozcas porque sí te chingan.
En Santa Marta.
Y aquí también. Ahorita porque andabas conmigo, porque me conoce la raza.
Bueno, ahora voy con Dios. So, Victor has officially left us, which means we're on our own. And I think that means that this is where the video starts to get interesting, because we're going to be exploring a part of the city that I've never explored before. We're going to do it totally solo, and we're going to figure out what this side of Mexico City has to offer. ¿Hay aquí mucho delincuencia?
Sí. Sí.
¿Y te afectan a ustedes?
Se matan.
¿Sí?
Sí, se matan gratis.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Ya sabes qué quieres ser tú? ¿O no?
Ya.
¿Ya? ¿Qué quieres hacer?
Meterme a la escuela militar y ser como mi hermano el militar.
Oh, wow. Suerte con eso. Family businesses are all over this part of town. You got the grandmother and her daughter and her grandson and everyone working together. I have no clue what we're supposed to be doing here. Honestly, there's not much more to it. We've reached the end of the city, at least as far as the Cablebus is concerned. And it seems like just a lot of commerce, a lot of movement, people going to and from work. So yeah, we can sense a lot of the traffic here. You can see. This is a very good reason to have the Cablebus, you know, the cable cars, because there's tons of traffic. Not just here, but everywhere in Mexico City. And I feel like, yeah, there's no really escaping that unless you go on the cable cars. So you can tell by seeing all these mini buses, these minivans, they have signs on them with different destinations. These are to take people who work in Mexico City back to where they live. So we've been meeting people, and I've been hearing my whole time here in Mexico City that a lot of the people who are in the city during the day don't actually live there. They travel from places that are as far as 2, 3, 4 hours away from the city, each direction, just to be able to go to work. So imagine if you had to travel 5, 6, 7, 8 hours total out of a 24-hour day just to be able to go make a living. That is crazy. Looks like I made it to some massive shopping center. I don't know where I am, really, somewhere near Santa Marta. There's Plaza de la Tecnología and like Oxxo, which you see everywhere, Mexican 7-Eleven, I like to call it. You got Kumon, they teach mathematics here, English, and a bunch of other shops, restaurants, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here, I have no idea, but maybe we find something interesting, you know. I don't know if it's a very good idea to be here, but you know, you never know. You can be in a place, you think it's not fun, it's nothing happening, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happened. That is why you have to stay with the open mind. You know what is open mind when you're traveling? You never, never, never close your mind. You will have the best time, I promise. Sentimiento con una gel que me decía, hola. Apparently this is a college bar, a university bar here in the outskirts of Mexico City. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's a Wednesday, in the middle of the day. It's 2 p.m. They're getting absolutely shit-faced. Salud a Mexico. I got myself this massive non-alcoholic mojito made of mango juice. I don't know, it's fucking, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, but you know, you gotta get lost. Welcome to day 2 of our Extreme Differences in Mexico City video, and today we are in Polanco, which I consider to be the bougiest neighborhood in the city. You can tell. Look at these nice modern apartments under shaded streets, beautiful trees, and of course you get the ugly electric wires, but that's typical Latin America. This is still considered one of the nicest neighborhoods that you can go to when coming to Mexico. And of course there are neighborhoods with mansions, you know, there's very rich neighborhoods outside of the city. That would be a little more of a drive. But I'm trying to cover neighborhoods here in the city. So I think Polanco qualifies as one of the nicer ones. We're gonna find out. Before we start our tour of this neighborhood, I wanna point something out that's really cool about Mexico City. So I'm in this park right here in Polanco, and I'm walking through the park, and boom, I'm confronted by this massive tree. Look, natural growth, baby. No bullshit, no getting in the way of nature. Mexico City is a forest. That's what I love about this place. If there's one thing I really love besides the food and the weather, it's like a forest, you know? Like, there are trees everywhere, and you might think to yourself at first, hey, they plant them here on purpose, but no. Look, natural growth, You're in the walkway, you might hit your head. You gotta crouch, go all the way under it, and come out, because this is an actual forest, and that is another thing that I love about Mexico City. This looks like Europe, you know, like you're in France, obviously. That's the goal here. They call this place L'Entrecôte. And then you got other cafes here. Look at this apartment building. This is sick. Super modern. Glass door in the entrance here, and you go down into the building. Look at that. Look at that design and all the plants. Very modern Mexico City vibe. I love it. There's a cool vibe here. It seems like a very good place to live.
It's very ritzy, has a big European kind of feel to it. The roundabouts, it almost feels like you're in Paris or somewhere.
I gotta be honest with y'all. As a traveler, this is the least interesting place you can go to. It's just a nice neighborhood, is what it is. There's not really much else to it. I mean, it's definitely refreshing after spending a while in the big cities of Latin America to be able to come to a neighborhood like this and to go out to a nice restaurant, you know, or walk down a very silent, peaceful street. This is about as noisy as it gets here in Polanco. Like, this is it. Like, you know, late afternoon. We're on the main street here. But yeah, other than that, compared to Iztapalapa, this is way more chill. All right, guys, I'm dehydrated, and the Polanco metro station is right in front of me. So, we're gonna get out of here. Sorry if you were expecting more, but that's pretty much all I have to offer you for now. The extreme differences in Mexico City are waiting for you. Come see for yourself. See which vibe you like better. Do you like the Iztapalapa vibe better, or do you like the Polanco vibe better? I think each part of this city has something different to offer, and that's the beautiful reality of Mexico City and our world in general, and it's why I love to travel. So, stay tuned as we learn more together and we explore more together, and hopefully we tell more stories together. Hasta luego.